Hello everyone, Rotti here, and today I'm going to share 3 things that I would like to see in dungeons for the upcoming expansion of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV are as linear as it can get. Now I've come to realize that many players seem to be happy about this because it makes it easier for new players to adapt while allowing for veterans to farm for loots, tombstones, or leveling up additional job classes. Nobody in Final Fantasy XIV likes long dungeons with multiple routes and a lot of side quests to complete. Imagine playing Praetorium every single day. Now, having said all that, I would actually like to see some of the unique dungeon mechanics that all of us has experienced in the previous expansion to be carried out in Endwalker. Number 1, puzzles in dungeons. I really like it that the first dungeon, Satasha, allows for players to click on either of the 3 colored switch, the red switch, blue, or the green. Hitting on the wrong switch will trigger for enemies to attack your party. The answer to the right colored switch is actually located at the beginning of the dungeon, written on a pirate's letter. This answer changes every time you run the dungeon. I would like to see more of these mechanics in Endwalker. The mechanics do not need to be complicated or overly extensive. They just need to be enough, while also punishing players who decides to skip it. The game also has other dungeons with puzzles, such as the Wanderer's Palace and the Sunken Temple of Khan. As much as I dislike playing the Sunken Temple of Khan, I would be happy to see more dungeons utilizing interactions with monsters. In Khan, you will need to bring the block-faced Avoidupis onto a shining floor switch to open the door leading to the next chamber. I can foresee the usage of this mechanic be turned into a dungeon puzzle in the upcoming expansion. Number 2 is to have NPC fighting alongside us in our dungeon runs. Now in Shadowbringer, we were introduced to this system called the Trust System. The Trust System allows for NPC such as Elfinot and Alize to join us in our dungeon runs. Now, I'm not talking about the Trust System. I would actually like to see the 5th, 6th or the 7th character joining your party in the dungeon run. Remember Gimlet Dark, where Lys, Hien, Aymeric and Pippin came to your aid. This does not do much to the overall run of the dungeon, but it sure was nice having to experience main story characters fight alongside you in a dungeon. The first time we were introduced to this concept was in Brave Flock's Longstock. With the help of Brave Flock's Alltalks, kiting the Tempest Bias around the Inferno Drake, you and your party can focus on DPSing only the main boss. Well, who needs an off-tank when you have Alltalks? Who would have thought that you would also have Tiamat fighting alongside you in the final dungeon of Shadowbringers, Pagtaran or Paglagaran or Paglaran. I mean, look at this. Were you not excited the first time you see Tiamat flying through the battlefield with you? The experience I had seeing Tiamat breathing fire onto the battlefield really got me wanting to see more interactions like this in the future. Now, who do you want to see teaming up with us in Endwalker? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 3, traps. Be it the vines in Endapor Keep hard mode or the spike balls in Halatali hard mode, traps in dungeons really enhances the experience of players navigating them. Now I remember running Bottom's Metal for the first time and suddenly a giant ball came rolling. How cool is that? Of course, it is predictable if you are running the dungeon for the 40th time, but hey, I still like it. And I sure enjoy seeing newer players get smashed up by this giant piece of ball. The other kind of trap that exists in dungeons here are traps that are triggered based on player interaction. In Palace of the Dead, you have traps that are laid out on the floor where if players walk over it, it will trigger some sort of nasty status effect such as toad or silence or disarm. Some traps just deal massive amount of damage to your player. These are invisible traps that you can't see. However, there is one dungeon that has visible traps that you can literally see in front of you and trigger them. This is in Hullbreaker Isle. Bear traps. These are literally in front of you. These kind of traps punishes players in doing certain interactions such as big pools without being aware of the surrounding. Step on it and you will be stunned. Now this is probably not a trap, but I would like to say it falls in the same category because you have to step on something, but we also see traps that provide status boost to your character. In Saw Kai, you can trigger haste upon stepping on the remnants of the enchanted fan. That's it for today's video. Let us know what you would like to see in dungeons for our upcoming expansion, Endwalker. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!